What's up, everybody? John Eric Poli here in my new studio doing my first interview, and we have a great guest today. We have Zak Cummings, who's coming off a big win at UFC Vegas 8 this past weekend. He defeated Alessio Di Sirico, and it was an absolutely, really good fight, and especially the ending was absolutely crazy. So, Zak, first off, congratulations on the win. Talk about that ending there, man. That was crazy.
Oh man, it was nuts. It was one of those where he hits hard, man. We both have power, so it was that whole fight was a chess match. We were just kind of like fighting for outside foot position, and everything, and it was just kind of, man. Like I know there wasn't a ton of volume, but I mean we were trying to knock each other out every time we threw something, and then it feel like almost at the end of every round, like we had a little, just okay, screw it, let's go and throw down, and then. Obviously at the end of the fight, like we really want to make sure that we won and didn't want to, didn't want to get caught with anything. So he came after me pretty hard and finally put himself in the pocket with me, which is really where I shine. I find some good angles and stuff in there. So he was throwing, and then I kind of ducked everything and set up, and the head kick was there. So I just threw it. I was mean to throw it all fight, and I didn't throw it near as many times as I needed to, but. I threw it when it counted, which was a couple seconds sooner. But yeah, it was, man, clean, fresh head kick. He didn't know where he was, but a little too late. Ref didn't stop it. We went to the judges.
Yeah, so I want to get your thought on that, the ending sequence there too, because there's a big debate online as to whether or not a lot of people thought that the fight should have been stopped right there and it should have been a KO win for you. Did you feel that way, or did you feel that right thing to do?
I would have. I understood both. It's one of those where it's a very uh, uncommon thing to happen. That when big shots happen at the bell. So, from my knowledge of the sport, which I think is pretty high, but halftime I'm so wrong. But typically they say like you can't really get saved by the bell like between rounds, or you can get saved by the bell between rounds, but typically the last round you can't. Uh, so I figured after the punch bell or not, like the ref should make it a quick assessment and everything, and like could he still go on? Could he not? Like, and man, he didn't know where he was. He was could barely. He found his feet finally, but he was still stumbling and everything. So. I think they could have called it, but I mean, it was also one of those kind of weird little things that you don't see very often. It's very surprising. So, I completely understand that he didn't, because he did make his way to his feet. So yeah, so like, I think it's uh, a cool event that happened, that maybe like a lot of those refs can kind of get together and kind of like powwow around and be like, hey, like what would you have done here? What and maybe kind of help them get on the same page for later. Not, I mean, I don't think, whatever call was like, if they called it, great, I get to finish and stuff, and I would have been agreeing with that, but then not finish or calling it, I understand. So I'm kind of indifferent with it. I mean, obviously, I wish I had the finish, but I understand and stuff. But I think it's definitely a learning experience that people can use and kind of talk about and see, like, for the future, what should that be called?
Well, the crazy thing about it too is like, luckily you ended up getting the win out of it, but it
Yeah.
was such a close fight. It's like imagine being in your situation where you have that fit, I mean, something like that where it can get finished, and then it goes to the scorecards, and being that it's such a close fight, it goes the other way.
Yeah.
Obviously, in
No.
your situation, I'd be pissed off, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. It was close. I felt the first round was close. He kind of had that little flirt at the very end, so I could maybe see him stealing it, but I still felt pretty good about it. And then third round, I felt good. I felt like I had those. I mean, I know they were close rounds, but I felt pretty comfortable that I was landing the harder shots. I was kicking his legs out from underneath him. Um, it wasn't a ton by numbers, but I mean, I still think I landed the cleaner shots and stuff too. So I felt pretty good about it, but I mean, I know it was a very close decision. You never want to go to the scorecards. Something else I was kind of, I guess, not. I want to be like, oh, it should have been this, but I can see that if they're not going to call that as a finish, uh, by them changing kind of the standards of a 10-8 round, like I could have seen maybe getting a 10-8 round. Not that the whole round was, a blowout or anything, but like when something that big happens that really changes the course of the fight, or like almost was a finish. Like I could have seen them possibly give that as well if they are going to be giving those out, a little more, I don't know, a little easier, I guess. I could see how that could have been a thing as well, but I don't know. I'm just happy to get the win and stuff, and a chance to get back in there, but I still have a lot of learning to do.
And well, I mean, you'll obviously get more opportunities to go and showcase all of your skills in the future. We're going to talk about the future in a little bit, but I have two more things related to this fight too.
Yeah.
And one of them you already touched on a little bit. Just how tough was he as an opponent? Because you guys were, as we said before, trading bombs the whole fight.
Yeah, I'm gonna take some of the blame that I kind of just relaxed and like kind of fought at his pace and skill, almost like threw big punch for big punch, and I should have. I don't know, man. I trained the whole camp for a lot of volume, for a high volume fight, to set up my takedowns, and I feel like it was like stand up. We're pretty close. We're both big, powerful guys, like both good at what we do. From what I've seen of his fights, I feel like I'm like head and shoulders above him on the ground, and I'm mad at myself that I never really kind of took it to there, and I don't know why. I really I was even between second and third round, I looked at like Mark, and I was like, maybe we should like test his wrestling. Like let's put him on the ground and see how that goes, and literally never took one shot. So I don't know. I feel like I had intentions on so much of this fight, and I just didn't, man. I just kind of like stood there and just fought at his ability and not mine, and that's a problem because, which I mean, I'm happy I won the fight, but I don't know. Like it almost takes a certain person to like push me to like really bring out the best in me, and obviously like the last 30 seconds of that fight, that's kind of what happened. You start pushing and coming after me, like I'm gonna get in the fight a little bit more, and that's when I get really dangerous. So. I feel like if we fought like that at the beginning, like I probably still would have, got a big finish. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard. Like it's hard for me to go back and look at that fight and be like, man, like I was training and want to do all these different things. I just didn't do it, man. I don't have a good answer except for I don't know. I don't know what it was.
Well, I'm sure you'll be able to obviously go to the drawing board and correct all these things. But just one more thing on this fight I wanted to ask about. And I know like your coach was calling for more volume, but the thing that surprised me was the referee calling for more volume from you guys. What was up with Smith in that situation? I felt as I'm watching, you guys were doing more than I've seen a lot more, inactive fights that no one said a word about. You guys were in there. You guys were exchanging. I feel like there should be the referee telling you guys to pick it up there.
Yeah. And I get I get there wasn't a ton of volume, but I mean, when we exchanged, we were trying to take each other's heads off, and it was, and there was some little stuff going on. I don't know. I mean, maybe that might be a thing without the crowd, because I feel like if there was a crowd there, I mean, when we did have our exchanges, like that would have been like like everything was crazy fast and you never really know what was going to happen. So I feel like if the crowd was there, maybe it would have stopped that. But since it was just so quiet, maybe that's kind of why he wanted to get involved a little bit more, which, I mean, I somewhat get, I understand, but as many times as he said it, it was kind of, I mean, I feel like we picked it up in the second round and he still like said it again. I was like, man, like I was joking around with him. I was like, bro, he hits hard, man. Like you get in there, but, I don't know. I was just kind of having a good time and having fun the whole fight. But, yeah, it was different. I'm not used to, I've never had a ref like telling me like, hey, like pick it up and fight, because I normally try to be an exciting fighter. But I mean, when you have like two big power guys who are trying to like take each other's heads off, man, like sometimes, it's a little bit more of a chess match.
I hear you. And now let's start, going to the future here, because you wanted to be busy this year. And after your last fight, last September in Abu Dhabi, the plan was to get back in there soon. You thought January, didn't happen. Then COVID screwed everything up, which it did for a lot of people. Now that you've gotten the win, when do you want to see yourself back inside of the octagon again?
Definitely somewhat soon. I'm gonna shake the soreness off this week, and next week I'm gonna have a little vacation with the family. But after that, I want to get right back to work and stuff. And I mean, I'm in good shape. I mean, I'm gonna keep the shape going. It's not like I'm not gonna do anything for 2 weeks. But I would definitely after I get back from my little vacation, and I want to get right back in the gym, pushing hard and just kind of I don't know exactly a date or when, but I just want to be ready to go whenever. If I get an opportunity, I'm jumping at it.
And we'll be looking forward to seeing you get back in there. And one more thing I have actually for you about this past week was Anthony Smith. You guys were obviously teammates. Things didn't go his. I was just wondering, did you speak to Anthony after his fight, and just how is he doing?
I did, man. I spent almost the whole night with Anthony after the fact. We kind of just chill back and you know shared a couple drinks and just hung out and just talked a lot. He's doing all right. His legs are pretty sore. Um, but we were talking about like kind of the assessment of the fight and everything. And he like technically he felt very good. He felt good on his feet. He felt good on the ground. Man, dude was big and strong, and he fought smart. Ratchet, he's fought like once he was able to get the takedown, he didn't really like give any space. You give Anthony space to start, getting his legs going to work back up or like start his submission game, which he's really good. Man, Anthony's really slick on the ground stuff. So he didn't let up. I mean, he buried his head in his chest and landed a couple small shots. And anytime he almost moved, like his coaches were like, hey, we're not here to like, land some big ground and pound, like, stick to the game plan. Like they wanted to stay tight. They wanted to just suffocate him and just, get the win. Like you could tell, like they weren't trying to like really beat him up. They were just trying to like make sure they're controlling getting the win. And dude, he's such a big, strong dude, man. Like, and if you're not really trying to open up to like land big shots, it's hard to beat somebody like that. So he definitely felt, undersized and just was a little mad at himself for trying to figure out where to go from here. But he's good, man. He's a tough kid. He's real tough. He's good, man. He just got to go back to the drawing board, and he's trying to figure out what changes he needs to make in his life, lifestyle, and in his camp and everything. Do we try to cut down again? Which I really don't think that's the right answer. He's got a big frame, and I think he can put some weight on, and he does too. And I think maybe just needs to like take a little bit of time from fighting and kind of make some adjustments to his body, and I think that could be a good thing for him. So he's just gonna make a decision and kind of run with it. But yeah, he's good. He's mentally good. He's physically all right. He just he's just bummed.
No, I understand. But why don't we move to a happier note here and talk about some happier things, if you will. I know you're involved with Glory MMA. You own kind of like a satellite gym off of the main one. Obviously, James Krause is heavily involved at that main one. So I want to ask you, I guess, two big stories coming out of Glory MMA. And we'll start with the biggest one, which was, I believe it was either last week or the week before it was announced. Megan Anderson going to fight Amanda Nunes. Just your thoughts on that fight and just Megan as a teammate and what she's like and how excited you are for her.
So, yeah, first of all, I feel terrible for Megan of like, people are just savages in the media, man. Like, it's so bad. I read the stuff that gets put out for her, and man, like, it's disgusting. But as a fighter, Megan is good, and she hits hard. Like, people all like, it's so easy just to talk down to somebody and everything. The day she's coming in the gym, she has trained her ass off so hard and learned so much. I mean, dude, she's one of the best in the world at what she does. She really is. And for someone never to give her, like, even think that she has a shot at winning, dude, I completely understand how good Amanda Nunes is. Like, don't get me wrong. But if Megan can hit you, like, she can change the course of a fight real quick. I mean, obviously, that's a hard task to get. But I think Megan is right there in the fight. I mean, she's good. She's well-rounded. A lot of people don't want to give her that, but she's a very, very well-rounded person. She's a great teammate in the gym. And she hits hard. So, like, if she shows up, man, and lands some shots, like, she can put a man in a bad place. So, I don't care what you say, but whenever you have someone like power like that, you just can't ever, let her out of the fight. So I'm excited for her to get her opportunity and stuff. And she's super motivated and just been training and learning and evolving nonstop in the gym. So I'm excited for her to get her shot. It's a tough fight. It's going to be when you're fighting for the world title, when you're fighting one of the best who's ever done it. But does she have the tools to actually get a win in the fight? She does. She for sure does. And you can't take that ability away from her.
Yeah, and I agree 100% on what you said there too, because I think Megan is one of the best in the world, and I think she deserves to get a title shot. Obviously, Amanda is, the greatest of all time in women's MMA, but I think that
sure.
Megan deserves to be there 100%. So I agree with that
Hmm.
completely. And one other Glory MMA note, too, exciting news out of your guys' gym. Jeff Molina, we just spoke with him at MyMMANews. I believe it was last week. Got a win on the Contender Series. He's looking forward to his first UFC fight there. Just how happy are you for Jeff? And as somebody that's a veteran like yourself that's been in the UFC for over 7 years, what advice would you have for him going forward as he goes to make his UFC debut?
Man, Jeff has done everything right. Like ever since he was a kid and everything, he's just put his head down and like he's loved training. He's enjoyed the process, and he's never really like. Obviously, he wants to be in the UFC. He wants to, be a world champion someday. But like, the win is not that important to him. It's like I know it's gonna happen. I'm just gonna like put my head down, put the work in, and that he's been doing. Man, he is so technical. He's so good. And for him to put on a solid shot, I mean, that kid was tough. He fought on the Contender Series, but he had a great showing. Got signed with UFC at 22 years old, and that kid's gonna have a very, very bright future. I mean, he's got a long way to go. He still has a long way to get better, but he's so good now already that I'm pumped for him that that he got signed. And my kind of advice for him is just like stay true to yourself, stay on the process, like the path you've been on of like just enjoying the journey, and don't worry about the end goals, because like that stuff will come, and that process is what's so important, and he's done that really well so far, so I just hope he stays with that.
And now we've covered a lot of ground with Glory MMA, but you also train out of Factory X. So I guess
Hmm.
let's talk a little bit. I guess first off, because I know you own the one gym with Glory MMA. So why don't
Hmm.
you explain a
Yeah.
little bit about that, and then explain what's it like training at Factory X and how you balance training in Colorado at Factory X while also owning a gym with Glory MMA?
Yeah, so me and Kraus and the original OGs kind of like all train at one gym. Uh, James was able to end up buying and taking over the gym, and we ended up switching the name to Glory from what it was in the past. And then so basically we just opened up another location in Kansas City, and I took that one over and everything. And so I run that gym. James runs the original gym, and actually Trey Ogden just opened up a third location on the Kansas side. So like basically we have a triangle all over Kansas City of locations for our gyms, which is awesome. And then all the top level guys from all the gyms kind of like merge in to one location in the mornings, and that's more of our pro practice. But then the evening, we all kind of like break off to the ones closest to us. So we've got that, and I've had that gym open for about 5 years now. So I've got a lot of really good assistant instructors and people that kind of like step up and really help take over while I'm out of town. And it's been years now, but so with me and James kind of being the coaches and the main head guys here in Kansas City, it's hard to kind of rely on like we trust each other and like we rely on each other and stuff, but just to have that leader in our life and stuff. So James found Mark Montoya and really thought I would really enjoy him as well and stuff. So James was going out there first, and I went out with him and just was so impressed with the leadership skills that Montoya had at Factory X. I mean, like just training up in altitude also was a big benefit. And then some other good training partners, like our training partners in Kansas City are very good. It's just getting a different look out there, which is kind of nice, a different style and stuff. So whenever I leave, I go up there for a couple weeks at a time, and rely on my coaches back home to kind of take care of the gym and keep it running. And then I do my training up there, and then I kind of come back and forth and stuff. So I don't really disappear for like 8 weeks at a time, but I might go for like 2 or 3 weeks and come home, and then go back out there and then come home, and then and everything that way. So I jump around a lot with locations, but yeah, so I stay busy traveling and train with a lot of different people, but it really helps me be a lot more well-rounded with the training, the technical aspect, and just different workout partners.
All right, Zach, I appreciate the time. And before I let you get running
Yeah.
here, I just want to give you the opportunity. You want to plug your social media, management, sponsors, the whole 9 yards. Please go ahead and do it.
Yeah, for sure. So just follow me at Zak Cummings, pretty much across the board. Shoot me a message. I love talking to fans. Anybody that supports the sport, I'm down to chat with. So shoot me a message. Obviously, the two gyms I just talked about, Glory MMA is on the come up. Man, we have all kinds of studs that are starting to get signed, and you'll hear more and more from that team. And then obviously, my general and the guys at Factory X and stuff really help me if I am. And management, I got the best around, man. Iridium Sports Management team is on point. They're so great. They take care of the fighters, and I really can't thank those guys enough for what they've done with my career. But yeah, so check me out, follow me, shoot me a message, and check out the next fight. Hopefully, it'll be a little bit more of exciting of a show.
All right, Zach, thanks for the time. Enjoy your vacation you have coming up there, and
Thank
we'll
you.
talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
And there you have it. That was Zak Cummings. And just before I sign off here, I just want to remind all of you guys to keep looking at My MMA News for all of your content, and please keep checking out all of the interviews that we do, not only just mine, but my colleagues as well. We're putting out great work at My MMA News, and we appreciate all of the viewership that we get. Thank you guys so much, and have a good night.